Boy, did I fail the episode 1, huh? Okay, this time I'm just recording the entire desktop. Now, so that we can see this program window in front every time, even when I'm coding something. Let's say that it shall be in the foreground then. Windows set always on top true. Does that work? It should. Okay, nice. What's going on right there? Well, I downloaded someone's YouTube video a long time ago and I'm showing that there. I know, it's not good. That's why I'm so very straightforward about that. This is just showing the Amiga music demo, which I love. So I really dig that track. Man, when I unpacked that thing back then, in the 80s, that was awesome. Anyway, I re-recorded that thing with a simulator, emulator. So that's nicer. Right, where were we? So one of the key problems that I realize are motivation. Why would anyone use this thing? Why would anyone play this thing? There's no game here. Motivation, then complexity. It is not complex enough. There's nothing really happening. And interactivity. There's nothing you can actually do. So the motivation is a pretty easy front to deal with. We just put in a person, and that person is you, with health and all that. So you want to survive, you know. Then complexity. I don't know. That would possibly emerge by itself when we tackle the other fronts. And interactivity. Well, let's just say we have to first create a situation. We have created a situation. We have this day-night situation, right? Maybe I should make the circle a bit bigger. We can't really see that. And that is, I want to create a little room. So let's make the basically a top-down view of a room, of course, like you have seen by now, completely crappy. And that would be down here where the mouse cursor is. Not sure if you can see that. Is the mouse cursor being recorded? I don't know. It is, isn't it? Beep. So, and that would be like a, I don't know, 6x6 room with walls. And inside the room there would be, well, no walls. And these tiles then could have theoretically atmospheric flow and heat and such. And I would just be an entity in there without ability to move around. It would just be stationary for now. Then we could possibly decide what shall happen to the room. Should I turn on the radiator so it gets warmer? Do I have to change the air mixture or whatever? That would be the idea there. Now enough of this, I guess. First I make the circle a bit bigger. And now we need some kind of graphic display on the right bottom, which would show some kind of world or room. I'm not sure how to deal with that. The things are abstract, they are functional, they are not really placed in the world, they do things, at least so far. I don't know where this is heading. I really don't. But let's see, we have room. We make one room instance and that shall then be painted. Should we expand JPanel? No. And then we add that to the display grid inner day-night display, and the next thing we add would then be at the bottom of that. View. Yep. Hey, what's happening? Create field. Final public JPanel view. Yep. We'll just expand this right here, this class, as if I had overridden it. Then I do my usual thing here. These shortcuts are really useful, that you can make in IntelliJ, and why not just write an entire program with that, or subroutine. Can we see that already? Oh yeah, we can. There should be maybe some borders between horizontal and vertical, at least vertical here. So let's add those inner. I think we can define that here, can't we? Yep. Horizontal gap doesn't matter, when vertical gap 10 maybe, or 20? 10. Okay, now instead of red, of course, we want something else. We want to have room tiles, and then we want multiple of those. And the room tile will then also have its atmospheric simulation in principle. We could consider having this as an extra class. Well, container. Because I could just have I could just say the tile, it has its properties. Graphics, is there a floor here, whatever. But I can also add the container, Atmos container. And this would then just be a part of what the room tile is. And if we have then 5 Atmos containers which are horizontally connected and such, they can interact with the game simulation step. I don't know yet how that will work. We will see. No idea. So room tile. Come on. Now we can see also these nice completion pop-ups, right? Okay, the room tiles, they need to be painted. So we want the graphics thing. And I will not give the coordinates because I will just change the graphics thing itself so that the coordinate is always 0, so this thing doesn't have to bother. We can actually go use coordinates from 0 to 1 in there, and then I could even put in some zooming, you know, the free zooming. We could use vector graphics. We could even say that, let's say, on this tile there is, I don't know, I have no idea right now. Let's say there's a ball, and this ball changes in size, and so this size could just be dynamically painted. Or there could be brightness, and so that's the color in which this is then painted, this individual tile. But I'm rather thinking about progress bars, which are in there, only they are not showing progress, they're showing a state. Yep, that has to be, I guess. So, g.setColor. Well, it depends on what tile this is. Public enum. Or do we put the enum in a different thing? Yeah, it might become more complex. So, new enum room tile type. And there we have wall and floor. Wall, sure. Room tile has a type, final public type. Then we have to give the type here. And if that was null, then whoops, you fucked up. This type. Now we have to check what type that is, and depending on what type that is, we paint differently. No. Switch. We don't have to bother with null because null cannot, null, I don't know how to pronounce it, cannot occur here. It's weird, you know. In Germany, when we talk in the office about some programming stuff, we're talking about zero, which is the German word null, and we're talking about program where something has a null value, and we're saying null, and that's a problem. Switch. That would then be, let's just set the color. If it's a wall, then I say gray or dark gray. Not sure what the scale should be. Maybe this is stupid, but if I use... No, I will stick with this. This seems promising. Then the floor, it shall be... maybe the wall should be bright gray and the floor dark gray. Yeah, let's do that. Just simple. So that would be a start. Now we have to call that here from the room when we say paint the room. Then we need an array, basically the map. Final. How big shall it be? I said like 6 by 6. Let's go 10 by 10. And then we have to define that. What? Curious, would that have worked? Rename to X. Oh, that would have worked. Cool idea. So, then we want to set that respective thing to whatever tile type we have then. Come on. Excuse me? Why are there no suggestions? Are you kidding me? Too shrill. I don't want this. So, tile equals. Why is there no suggestion? Oh, right, room tile type. No, wait. New room tile and the type shall be. Oh, okay, it's private. Sure. New room tile of type wall, because when we're at the wall situation, then that's the way it shall be. As the other thing. Floor. So that's the map. Then we have to paint that thing here. Zoom level and such will not bother me right now. I should take the transform. Oh, I'm in the wrong fucking film here. Anyway, Beep. And yes, we do need the transform here. So iterate in the same way as down here, except first we have to retrieve the size. Background will be initialized in. Oh, let's make sure that we see where the map is. New color. Very dark. Okay. So instead of setting that, we will retrieve it here. We say, hey, what's happening? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, a programming error in a different section is revealed by a programming error in this section. Funny enough. So, YYHXXW. YY map H, XX map width. Tiles, yes. Tiles XY is what I want to read from, so let's make a local variable out of that. Now I have the tile, and then I need to transform first. Where we want to go with this. Then we'll just say tile.paint. Yeah, I guess a bit in the way now. So what transform do we want? We want to 1, 2, 3, 4 set the g.translate to x times y, and that in turn depends on the zoom level. But first first I need to translate to the location, and then I need to scale, right? I'm not sure, I can't fathom, so let's just test it, see what happens. Translate by whatever scale that would be. Alright, it depends on whether I want to multiply. Well then first scale it. Okay, now I know. Scale. Let's say, I don't know, 40. Nothing's happening yet, or is it? Let's see. Okay. Oh, okay, there's our room. There's the room. Huh, not bad. Maybe I want to give it a little bit of offset and not scale it that drastically. First we want to translate by like, I don't know, 30 pixels-ish or whatever. I could have just recompiled, right? That would be the room, and obviously is insufficient. Let's make the window a bit higher. And the font slightly smaller. Main font size can be 16, let's say 14. And window height 800. So there's the room. So do we have pressure in there or any such things? No, we do not. Let's assume we had pressure there. I mean, the first thing we want to know is we want to see what it is. And what kind of pressure, what kind of mixture, what kind of gas are we talking about? Maybe we should make it a bit boxified so we can see what's what. The walls shall be the walls, but the floor will just have a little box there. And just recompile should work immediately. It doesn't. we have to give it reason to repaint. So let's do that. Here in main we will say repaint room or whatever. Whenever this here update room repaint. View repaint. That should work immediately. I don't know why it's looking like the way it does, but I don't know. At least we can see. Where's the room? Room tile. So let's leave that out, then see what happens. Okay, it is updating that. Draw rects. Of course, because the line width of that thing is huge now. Because the line width is, guess what? It's 1. Well, then let's just prepare some other things here. I wonder which human being had the original stroke. I mean, was that phased in by evolution or? It's not funny. It's funny, fuck you. So, g.set stroke, original stroke. And then we can already prepare that we want, well, what kind of scale are we talking about? So let's set the scale here. Final float scaling is 1 divided by 30. Is it? Well, apparently. Then we will just, what am I doing? Doesn't really matter. Just use a float here. Then we have that out of the way. So, scale shall be this, and the translate shall also be this. Now I want to scale the stroke down, g.set stroke smaller. And that should show? It does. Sweet. Okay, except I didn't want that at the walls, I wanted that at the floor. Now we need to express somehow what the atmosphere in the respective places. And I don't know how or where to go with this. Therefore, I will just do something and we will see what happens. So, let's just say we want to show a progress bar in a place. Or should it be values? No, progress bar is easier to see, then we can see it rise and fall instead of having to decipher the numbers to get a feel of what's going on. And I have to scratch my ear. Yeah, it's funny, this microphone of mine is, I don't know what brand it is, might be Logitech. I wouldn't buy Logitech hardware these days because their drivers are complete fucking dog shit now, and I don't want that. But I have this thing, bought it like 15 years ago, 10 years, I don't know, and then eventually I didn't use it much, and then it broke or something. It was on a stand, and then now I have only this handle. This is like a finger thick, like a ball pen. Slightly curved with a diagonal tip, which is pretty cool. I was actually now looking for such a microphone. I couldn't find it in those 20 minutes I invested, or 15. The diagonal tip is turned towards my mouth, and if it's turned away, let's simulate that. See, that's still the same microphone in the same place, right next to my head, between the headphones and my face. I mean, it's just clamped under that manually. And it's the only thing I did was I turned it around so that I rotated it along its axis so that it is now basically the diagonal openings pointing away. Now it's not pointing away. I mean, what a fucking difference, right? God damn it. And that's also why I'm looking for such a microphone, because apparently, I mean, the thing is, you could say, well, just take a microphone without that, will work in all directions, ha ha ha. But obviously there's some benefit. I mean, you always have to think cost-benefit, how much is in there. And so let's say if you need to fine-tune something so that it works properly, then it is probably a thing that is cheaper. A thing that you don't need to fine-tune because it works like studio quality right out of the box would be more expensive. So if I buy something cheap and it has this special make, then the likelihood that I can make more out of it is higher than if I buy something that is omnidirectional. Meanwhile, the sun is going up and down. So let's make a progress bar thing. I don't know where exactly, but draw stat, and we tell it the graphics context to draw it on, and now the coordinate is of course 0, but the vertical coordinates, well, I will not give it, or will I? Let's give it 0, and then what value do we want to show? A random value. That's the dirty way to do it. Let's make it here, let's make a proper random generator. Could also use secure random, but why burden the simulation? Right. Next float, that will make sense. Or next double. A float is enough for this little chart that I want to draw there. So I will just oh, right. The vertical position would have to be a float. And what was this again? That was the value. Yep. Now let's, for simplicity's sake, this must just make a rectangle. G.setColor. So that we see some. It's always good to. It's awesome that we can do this interactively instead of having to like recompile and run it through the servers and such. We can just push a button, we see it. That's easy peasy. Why not benefit from this? But then you get used to it. Yes, I get used to it. What's your problem? G.fill rect from 0 to x is 0, y is y. Then the width shall be 1 because that's the size of our tiles. We can see here that the vertical coordinate is a problem. So instead I have to say fill and I have to create a new rectangle 2D. Not like this. Low, that should be enough. Oh, what's happening? And the width shall be 1 and the height shall be 0.1, 1/10. Okay, I cannot recompile this because the see that it's too complex a change. So now we have this progress bar thing in there. Of course, the placement is crap. Let's see what happens if I use not a 0 as vertical coordinate, but 0.1. Aha, so that would work. Then we can use the horizontal coordinate. Here we start at 0.1. And we don't use the full width. I will... how do I do this? Well, basically, whatever value that is, value times 0.8. And the value may be 1, and we can see what that looks like. Ah, okay. Come on, I want to undo this. That looks mildly irritating. But okay, let's say we would display the pressure there. Just the pressure. The pressure of what? The pressure. Shut up. The pressure. Now, so we would then look in the Atmos container what the pressure is. So let's just go in the Atmos container and create a value that is called pressure. And what pressure do we use kilopascals? I mean, I don't know what I would normally have used, but now that I've seen stationeers, of course, I am inspired to say we measure that in kilopascals, and I will just say 50. Well, yeah, that's how you write 50. And you know what? Let's alter that. Plus umath.rand.next float times next float is always a value from 0 to excluding 1. So we can say 50, and then we will get some vastly different values there. Problem though is, if I want to show that as a pressure value, as a progress bar, how do I do that? That doesn't make sense. Well, I mean, this progress bar idea is not wrong, but I think we should also need we will also need one for numbers. Same concept, that's the location, that's the vertical location, but I will use the same location so I can get some idea, because printing text is always a bit iffy. Then atmos container.pressure. Great. Method. Then we will just say g.draw string string value of. Do I need that? No, I don't. umath.format pressure. Dude, what is this stupid suggestion thing? I mean, seriously, I mean, what they did there, here in IntelliJ, the programmers, is they said, okay, the longer the word, the more time you save when you type it. Yeah, but do I need to type it? That's the question, motherfucker. And I don't. No, I don't. How should they know? How about probabilities? Not just what I have typed, but what people would generally type, and what's closer here in the context of what exists already in the programming. So then that's the string. Now the position shall be 0, and the vertical position shall be y. Why? Yeah, because then we have the value, and that's the value we wanna show. We have to show some value here at this point. People are getting bored. Now, if you're still with this, then you're not bored, and you're, I don't know what you are. Probably drunk. So, this is, what is this? Float. What's the problem? Why? Also, right, sure. Now I haven't set the color yet. Let's set color white once more. I guess I have to restart because a new method that doesn't fly. Okay. The font will probably be a bit too big, because the font is like size 10 by default, and that means 10 pixels. But every tile is 1 pixel high. It's a magnification. Well, then we have to set the font for this. G.setFont. Or maybe we could prepare a font one time for default purposes that also save some execution overhead. Liberation mono. What size do we want? Style shall be plain. And size? Integer? Are you kidding me? That throws a wrench. Well, let's see what happens if I use size 1. Okay, that works. But that doesn't work for me. I have to derive font. That should do the trick. It does. Way too big still. Aha, now we're getting somewhere. So, the location is crap. And let's go there then. Am I in the right place? Yep. Location 0. Why 0? That was stupid. 0.1. That. And then now we can see, even though I used the same location as the progress bar, the number seems to be in a different place. That's because you the coordinate is always the baseline of the font. So I have to use an offset. Which offset I should derive properly, but I mean, what of this application is programmed properly? It's just for fun. So I will just add an offset of 0.3 or something. No. No. No, no, no. I feel like a sensor. Yeah, that works. Wait, I said 0.1. No, then that's incorrect, because 0.1 should be in that place. It is. Now, 0.2 for the location. Well, we would not want the bars to touch, right? So let's use that anyway, as if it were a bar, which it's not. I don't want it so detailed here, because that is just irritating. So let's add another another one with maybe just without decimal places. Yep. This, of course, requires a restart. Okay, so that's the pressure that we have there. Very randomish, and now it would be nice if all those fields would interact with each other to balance out the pressure. But there's a problem. Let's say we have an algorithm that runs through this. Then we would have well, this stuff would be kind of favored versus this stuff. So what I would have to do, I think, tricky. Yeah, that's the thing. When I said I have no clue how to do this yet, that's the part right now where I don't have a clue. You know what? Let me just walk up and down and talk to myself for a minute. Okay, I hope it's not a mistake. I think I have a solution. Don't mind the clock. I did other things also. Well, first, let me do something superfluous. Oh, why not? Where's the sun? Where's the sun being painted in the in the day-night containers display? Is this thing on? Hello. Yep. So here we are painting the sun. We're filling it with white. How about though that I do the same thing again, or rather final float sun x, I know, German. Sun vertical, that's clear. Oh, sun width, sun size. Okay, that makes sense. So with that out of the way, I will now create a new color. New color. A color you have never seen before, an invention of mine. No. And that color shall be semi-transparent white. But before that, we will create a new sun shape. Sun size times 0.1. I don't know. 1? No, not like that. Oh, neither. Can we see that? Ah, okay, that doesn't look right. Yeah, because it's not centered. 1 second. That makes it much easier. I can just say where the center is and what the radius is, and problem solved. So, utils. And then the size. Dude. Okay, that looks stupid. The sun size, I would have to reduce that by a lot. Not like that lot. Thank you, it's a night. Thank you and good night. That looks remarkably not good, so Let's do instead this and this. Okay, and turn off the stupid progress bar things, which are just too irritating. And so my solution for this thing here, the problem is, of course, that if I let's say here's 100 kilopascal and here's 0, the outcome would be here's 50 and here's 50. Maybe we should also transition that a bit, say, yeah, it's not instantly completely equalized. That's a different story. But I'm saying that when that has happened, what if this one also has 100 kilopascal and this originally had 0, but now it has 50? This exchange would then be different. This sequential approach which the algorithm would do, that wouldn't work really. And so we'd have to simulate simultaneity. We have to simulate that this happens at the same time. So my thought is I will do the simulation for this set of fields and for this set of fields and this set of fields, and I will add all of that together into some kind of result map, and then I divide the result by the amount of additions that have been done per field, even if the addition was 0. And this should then hypothetically give us the proper mixture of all the decisions that were made by the airflow. Oh, the sun looks alright. I mean, it's not great, but it's better. Oh no, that's correct. Yeah, that's basically flat earther thinking. I have to see what's the size. But since that is clipped, we can just do that earlier already. Oh yeah, and of course the ground would then have to be painted early. Where is that? Here. Does it work? Almost. Well, maybe I should make another stroke for the upper part. No, wait, this doesn't work. It was good before. What am I doing? The problem here is that I need to remember the sun's size. Is final, of course. Okay, so then the room tile thing. Is it the music thingy being shown? Oh yeah, because it feels relevant here. What am I doing? So, progress bar. Let's remove this and instead say we take the Atmos container pressure divided by 100. Huh? Yeah, that's less wild. Still not how we want to keep this, of course. Okay, how can we do the atmospheric simulation then? Well, the room isn't yet being called to simulate, for whatever reason. Game data simulate. What do we simulate first? Does that matter? I'm not sure. I would say let's simulate the room first. Room.simulate. No. Okay, with the atmospherics, Oh, where am I? Tiles. Here you have the Atmos container, and inside the Atmos container I could do this. Basically pressure calc. So we go through the entire thing. Now we're going through the entire thing. What we need to do now is we have to first clear this value, because iterations. Though, do I need to do that? I can just, when I divide by the amount, etc., blah blah, at the end, I can then also reset that to 0, so that can be the same breadth. So we can just do the simulation right away. Now we're calling this for every field, and every field needs to consider its 8 surrounding partners, because diagonal exchange, I believe, also makes sense, since reality isn't a checkerboard. How though? Okay, let's just, it's best to just design it from the top down. What is our intention? What is the intent? What do we want? I want to get... Maybe I should indeed only simulate horizontally, because what if there's a wall? I mean, I just thought, if we have like a wall here, so there would be a room here and then basically a corridor. We could have an active vent or whatever over here which pumps something in, and that should then indeed affect the room here. And in this way we could also have a wall here, just a little tile, and this diagonal calculation then would be kind of annoying. I feel like doing it only horizontally might be the better approach. Let's just do that and see what it feels like, and later we can tamper with that problem. So I want now all the fields. Let's just prepare them. Final. What do I want? What do I want? The atmospherics? Yeah, that is completely sufficient, because I don't want to deal with anything else here. Or do I? No, currently not. Okay. So, final Atmos container left. Get tile, so that this can be checked for bounds and such. X minus 1 dot y. Bottom. And then we deal with those. Return X. Oh, I need to... Okay, the extent of the map needs to be known. I guess I have to define that up here. Else we're not gonna have fun, because all this check what the map size is kind of things getting on my nerves. Final, private. No. Undo. Dude. Oh right, this refers to this object here, it doesn't refer to the class. I could do this, of course. That should work. It does. Refers to the current instance of that class from this perspective. So, room this height, room this width. Otherwise, height and width are not employed here. Yeah, and something about the day-night stuff. The colors are kind of alright, but somehow I believe I have to curve this. I have to make sure that when the further we are, okay, when we are here downwards, then it should have a bias of down colors. It would think, it would have to imagine to be further down already. And here, the opposite. So that would be only a narrow band here. And see where the sun is. Why should it be so dark already when the sun is here? That doesn't make sense. I could of course just change the colors, but I don't think that they are so imbalanced. I think it's rather the logic here. I mean, the logic is, in reality, the sun is behind the horizon for a few meters. But then what does it mean? It's dark. I mean, then it goes back behind the earth, and then it will be dark for a long time until you even feel the hint of morning. So just adding more colors and adjusting them, that's not the answer. But let's not go there right now. Left, right, top, bottom. So return x greater than or equal to 0. Or let's say x less than 0, or x less than 0, or y less than 0, or x greater than or equal to width, or y greater than or equal to to height 0, 0, otherwise tiles x, y. What's happening? Right, I have to contain the utmost container of the tile, yep. Let's see, x less than 0 is illegal, y less than 0 is illegal, x greater than or equal to width is illegal, y greater than or greater than or equal to height is illegal. Okay, now we have here possibly some nulls, and we of course have the tile itself, which I should also no, that's not necessary, we know that this works. Also, this makes it stick out visually here, which it should. We don't need to transform the stroke and all that crap. So now the goal is to, let's see, I have to create the interaction. Maybe basically what we have to do is we average it out. I add all these 5 together and give the average to all of them. Is that the answer? I average all these 5 thingies, if there are 5, and then I average them together. Let's think about this. Here, 100% pressure, I mean 100 kilopascals, empty, 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 empty. Of course, after complete equalization, we would have this pressure here, 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 spread out, which is the average. But let's say, what about this corner? Here we have high pressure, these are evacuated, what happens then? These fields will not be affected. I mean, of course I have to also think about, what about walls? So, type wall, still null. It's a bit annoying. Hey, wait, we can do something. We can do a thing, haha, because I'm cool, and therefore I have, what's its face, auto hotkey, and I'm using my media keys. One of them I can use to set a window to on top or not on top, and the other I can use to set a window to transparent. That is so very useful, I can only tell you. So if the tile's type is wall, then we also return null. Or null, or whatever its name is. Else we return this. Okay, so what happens here? We would basically only have 4 tiles that are equal out, not these up here. So we would not divide by that amount. I'm dealing only in reality with these fields, which are then equalized. That seems correct. I don't know if this whole thing will work, it's just a guess. I mean, it's a guess of how the gas would work. Maybe we could already plan some kind of debugging value, which is we will add together the pressure of all the tiles. Where do I do this? Maybe here. Or maybe in the simulation? Yeah, let's do that here. So, double sum total I can do this for wall tiles. What the fuck? I can do this for wall tiles also, because they will just have pressure 0. What I could also have done is could have said that walls that don't have atmosphere, but let's not go that far, it's too specific. I mean, I don't really know what I want to do with this whole thing yet. Sum total before. And this sum total must stay constant. I will just print that out. Utils. That should help. What is the sum total, by the way? Can we see that? Oh, it can't. We have to change too many things. So now let's average out all those fields if they then exist. How can we make that happen? I would have to affect a value in a way that makes sense or not. So now I want an array, because I want to work with values that are changed from here. I want to basically have a view from here into that method. So double. That's the value I want to add there. Well, sorry. When I'm in the programming flow, I cannot consider what will the audience think. Is this boring? So maybe I should pause at this point. But I can't gauge that correctly. And well, it's better to get this shit done. So then you can just skip ahead, maybe. So here we have this value. Now I want to add for average. I will of course give the value so it can be added. Then I will also need to know amount. Because that's also a thing that this thing down here has to consider, but amount shall be an integer. So how many are being added there? What's happening there, you know? So add for average. What am I trying to add? Left. Yeah, multi-line editing is a thing normally in a proper IDE. Final double. Right, and I have to. Oh, right, that was stupid again. I have to. What's its face? Atmos container. So if container is not null, let me do something with it. We say amount can be increased, and we say accumulator will get something added to it. So that's what we do. We're taking the current state of the simulation, we take the pressure from that field, we're adding it into the accumulator here. And now that we have this, we can then ultimately say that self.pressure calc, not pressure itself, we cannot override that yet because we have to deal with all the other bundles of fields before we can do such a thing. So self pressure calc we add here the value. But not that. What's happening? What's the problem? double to float. Wait, this is a float? Oh, why is this a float? That's not good. So, self-pressure calc. But divided by the amount that we had here. And we know that this works because this is necessarily not null. So there will be at least a 1 in amount. And so we will then be able to divide not by 0 but by 1 or more. Okay, now we have the average of these, of this cross here, or of this cross here, which reaches into nothing or into walls. That is in pressure calc. Now this thing moves on to the next tile, like to this and so forth. Eventually we'll be here, then it takes all of these, the original value that it had, adds them together, then divides it by, in this case, 5, and then we get the average of that, which will then be written here into this calc, will be added here to this calc value. I forgot something. Did I? Well, it's something I was thinking about in between videos. Okay, let's rewind. Let's forget everything I said in the last half hour, or how long that was. To simulate this simultaneity, that it happens at the same time, I have to change the music, and that is how I can simulate that. So let's say I add, I do this whatever calculation, and then I write that into the target array, which is not yet final. It's our preparation for the final statement that we want to make in regards to what happened. So I write that once. Then I go here and do the interactions here and write that once, and so forth. And then in the end, I would have to divide the field, the outcome, by the amount of additions that have been made. Hey, wait, I'm making a mistake here. I'm only writing this average to the central field. I'm pretty sure I have to write it to the others also. I mean, I'm currently averaging out these thingies here, which means I need to average them out. And this means that we will have, this field, for example, will be touched multiple times, and I have to count how many times that is, so that I can ultimately, in the end, divide that. Yeah, that's how that works, so we'll need another subroutine with magic like this stuff. So that works via the fields. Okay, that's rather simple. Add for average. Right back average. Right back average. And how does that work? Right back average for self, for example. What do I want to write? This value. So let's bake that already. Final double, or rather, I mean, why? This shall be this divided by, okay, we can do this, I believe, huh? Yeah, okay. This shall be divided by amount. And then we want to write that back. Yeah. Whoopsie. So we can later divide by how often that tile had been affected. Man, this is... I don't know if this will work. Maybe it will work, and that would be pretty awesome. That would be a foundation for some atmospheric flow in here. And then there would be maybe an explosion in the corner, and then it spreads out. That might be like 20 minutes away, man. That kind of stuff. Sorry for the boring otherwise, or my botches. I just hope I don't press the Windows key, because then you can see my name. Because stupidly, Windows is not, what's its face? It's not streaming ready. There's so many ways in which they make sure that you know, hey George Bush, don't you like what you're doing there, George Bush, with our operating system that we have already sold to you, but keep trying to sell you anyway for whatever stupid reason? Sure, do that. You know what, if you call it Windows, maybe the window manager should be the worst part of it, you know? Tile is not null, then we want to add this to the calc, and then we want to... Okay, that is already the average, but later we will have to average all of these calculation bundles, and that's what we need the amount for. Okay, add for average. I have no clue if this will work. So we have to do this, of course, for all 5, which is pretty easy to do with this super IDE, which doesn't even cost you anything. So that has happened. What has happened right now, hypothetically, is that we have the average of this added to this field, this field, this field, this field in its target value, which, you know, for this and this and this and this. And now we have to go through all of them and average that stuff out. But only at the end, because else this won't work. So let's go through this again. The entire thing again, but in a different way. We will need to get the self, and then we have to say self dot pressure shall be self dot pressure calc divided by self, and I see the problem, pressure calc amount, only of course if any calculation has happened. So any calculation has happened, then no, wait. Huh. I mean, we need to... Not sure if this makes sense. I believe this is superfluous. Well, this means, if this is 1, which means it means that something has been added to this field. If nothing has been added to this field, then doing this doesn't make sense. So I don't have to affect that at all. I guess, with an A. And then, yeah, that is done. But afterwards, definitely, we have to make sure that this dude is zeroed. And same for the amount, which is what I mentioned a while ago. So hypothetically, now we have that should be working. Except for what the fuck's happening here? I want to draw the bar. Let's cast that to float then. Again. Cannot load from object array because this dot tiles is null. Create map. Did I just... Oh, okay, this is create map. That's the wrong place to do that. Simulate. Familiar. Okay, now things are happening. What things are happening? We can see down there that the overall pressure situation is changing, which means that the source code, the code does not work in this form. We are losing, basically gas is being conjured into existence. And no, this is not a temperature-related pressure change. So that doesn't work. Or I implemented it wrong, as in there's a programming error. Okay, let's do something more radical then, when it comes to the initialization of this whole thing. When I say I want the Atmos container to have some pressure, Wait, where is this? That's where it happens, okay? So let's just give it pressure 0. But when we create the instance of this, so let's create a constructor here. Why? So that I can just easily browse back to where that is being called. There's always a constructor. Aha. So here we can room tile. Aha. Maybe the room tile should be aware of its coordinate? Or should I hand that over? No, I can... let's do it differently. Where is this done? Where is this done? Create map, of course. In the case of floor, we'll say if y is less than 4, or less than 2, well, let's say it's 1. Okay, y is 1. Then I would just give it a pressure in all cases of whatever, tile dot Atmos container pressure is 100 kilopascals. The overall pressure is increasing. Now it's decreasing again. See, at the beginning we had 800. So my approach is not working. I mean, it's nice how that is being equalized here. That looks nice. But it's also very slow. Maybe we need a few more decimal places here. So let's go to utils. I just don't get here. We have a radical increase of pressure. It's doubling. The amount of stuff that we have in there is doubling. Okay, it's not doubling, it's a 1.5. Then it increases further and then it falls again. So, I mean, something is really fucked up here, man. But let's just think for a second, at least if this would make sense. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tiles here. Well, now you can finally see my little management program in action. Hopefully I don't click show main window. That would be awkward. Then I have to scrap the video or something. So we have 8 times 8 here. And that's the amount of fields that we have. What we have in the beginning is we have 8 fields times 100. That is the pressure that we all have. And that will be divided, that will be spread out over all those fields. So we get to 12.5, and what we see on the right is 11.36. That is at least in the general region of that, but that's of course not appropriate. That's not the way we can do this. We can't just lose gas radically like this. This is completely imprecise. So 8 times 100, yes, we had 8 fields at the top, 8 floor tiles, and overall we have 8 times 8 fields to which this spreads, yeah, 12.5. And so we lost some gas. Oh, let me think about this. Haha. Glorious, I found the answer. And solved it. I mean, this is not yet solved. I will show you what it looked like before. I'm making a mistake here. I mean, the thing is, the idea that I had wasn't wrong, the way to implement this, or at least I haven't yet seen how it would be wrong, because, I mean, I have the solution now for like 1 minute, so not much time to look into if that's actually the outcome that we want. But we can clearly see that the gas amount is changing. I also added this here, divide by 64 would be this, so we can see per tile that is growing and changing and wafting around. That's wrong. But see, I was just trying to play out in my mind. I mean, the thing is, at the beginning it makes a step from 800 to 1200. Here, all of these had 100 pressure and empty, 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 empty. And so I was just thinking about, okay, what happens then at this beginning where this makes this high step upwards? What's happening there? Blah, 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 blah. And so then I just was beginning to think about this and realized, no, wait, dude, you have to start thinking here. This is where you start. And that's the first step even. What? And then I realized the way I'm currently implementing this, I'm just assuming that the self tile, the tile where the iteration currently is, the X and Y thing here, the simulation, is always a proper tile. But here it is not. And so what I have to do is I have to employ here the same means. Get tiles atmos, X, Y. So if that is then indeed a wall, then that will be null. There will be nothing. And then, of course, down here where I divide by the number, that can be a divide by 0. So if that is greater than 0, then it makes sense to do something about this. It's not. What does right back average do? It writes how often has there been something been added to this, and then that. Okay. Yeah, but that makes sense. That should work. Now, behold. It stays constant. The pressure is flowing, but the amount that we overall have stays constant. I would assume that if I show like 10 decimal places that it's still changing a bit, but that would be rounding errors, not actual conceptual errors. So now the pressure has equalized. After how many seconds? Maybe you should have some kind of game time that is showing up there. That would be helpful in the beginning, and a pause and continue kind of thing would also be helpful. Let's start with the game time, with the amount of seconds spent. No, let's stick with the atmospherics. I want to see what happens. Let's do that again. I will not move the window this time, so we can just focus on the center of the screen. So I will start it again. I will start it again just now. I will start again. Bop. So I don't know if that is simulation-wise sufficient, but to find out, I will now, I would say, build a wall. Let's build a wall. There shall be a wall right here. Is the recording thingy working? Sometimes I don't know. And I'm paranoid. No, I'm paranoid. I have had too many fucking vouchers. Okay, let's make a wall here that goes up to here except here. And then we would have all of that flow out here and then spread out in the room. That's about how it should theoretically be. Would be nice if this would be an editor, huh? But it's not. Forget it. So make a wall in there. Where will the room be made? Here's the map maker somewhere. Here. Where is this done? I want a wall. Or y equals 2 and x is less than 8, I think. Yep. Not sure if that's correct. Definitely we need some kind of pause function to do the simulation step by step, so we can analyze what's really happening here. At least we can see it's slightly higher here than it is here, so there's that. But insufficient. What we could also do, just for a moment, we can just say this bar here is currently not quite being utilized, right? How about we go into the tile painty thingy, and where we make the bar, we make sure that the value here is actually clamped. That was wrong. So it's between 0 and 1, and then we make sure that the value here will not be pressure divided by 100, but let's say divided by 2. No. No, no, no. 10? Something seems fishy about this, particularly the horizontal exchange. I mean, okay, we need a game step thing. I need some buttons here to take a game step. How can I do this? Well, first we need the buttons, obviously. Where do I put this? At the top here, I would say. Alrighty then. Little pause, because I have to copy some. I just copied something about Java's look and feel. Didn't change much, but once I add the buttons, you would have seen the normal buttons are crappy, so I changed to a certain look. That's the code. So am I showing you this? No, I'm actually reading if there's something in there that's conspicuous. I should have done this before. Well, it seems fine. Okay, we need some buttons. That would be the simulation control kind of thing. Is it in-game data? No, game data is being affected by what's happening here. Private, Boolean, sim running, and sim step. Take one step, false. Okay, let's put that into practice already. There is simulate, that is being called here. I don't know, should I put that in simulate or up here where it's called? Let's put it here, because this is the flow regulator with the speed and such. If sim running, or sim take one step. Sure, that's what we all want to see now. And afterwards, this shall be set to false, so this way I can just push a button somewhere, and I realize this doesn't work like this, because here I'm working with the values that are on a different thread. So just do a volatile, that's good enough for a Boolean. I don't want to lock things down, no, why would I? What's this? No, do not. They actually don't suggest this, I never do this. Don't suggest external message. So what is this? Suppress for statement of comments, suppress disable inspection. So where was I? Buttons. I need buttons. On the left side, pen grid inner. Man, I wish I had my library. It's so convenient to program with that thing. But I wanted to do it from scratch, and also, who knows what manner of things would pop up on screen. I programmed for efficiency and not for, oh, someone might see it. Pen grid, because I get paid to exactly do that. Pen grid inner. Where did I want to go? That's the larger grid. And into that we add the text, but instead here we can say what the gap shall be. Let's say 10, and I think by now we should have a constant for that. Can we extract that, by the way? Is there a way to do that? Nope. Because in my library this is much shorter code. Because there's so many things that you can abstract here. So how many do we want? I don't know how many columns I want, but I know I want 0, I want 1 row, and the rest shall emerge. Horizontal gap is clear. Oops. Border size, there is no vertical gap necessary. Pan buttons. Now in my library I could just type here and make the button, including the code that it executes, but here I have to go the long way. Crap, crappity crap and crap. Final J button, but step, but toggle run. Step. Both of these I want in here. Wrong. I don't remember how it was. I used the library so much. Action event, huh? Yeah, what we want to do, toggle run, we want to say sim running shall be set to not sim running. I don't know why it's complaining here. Non-atomic operation on volatile field. It's not a problem because that's the only place where it's flipped, and even if there would be a problem, I mean, it's just whether it's running. And here we say sim step true. That should already be it. So nothing's happening, but that didn't work. Why is run so prominent up there, and why does it look so crappy also? Text and buttons must be transparent. Same for buttons. That is then solved, but what about the but step? I mean, where's the but step thingy? Oh. Right. Not the library. I would just do it in one. I mean, it's in my constructor there. Oh, and one thing I forgot. The gap between here. Okay, let's take one step. That didn't work. I don't get why step isn't working. Because I added it to the wrong button. That's why. Stupid. So let's take one step from this situation. 100, 100, 100. What happens when I take one step? Whoa. What the fuck? Now this reeks of bug in implementation. This reeks of someone fucked up. Who might that be? So this for whatever reason ended up down here. Oh right, of course. Here we have this field, the wall field, and the wall field then just said, "Hey, I want to find out how to exchange my atmosphere with my buddies, and so let's take a look at that, and let's average that shit out. I mean, never mind me, I don't have atmosphere, but these two, they will be exchanged. Yes, that's what happened." So simply, just whenever we grab a tile that is itself a wall, we shall not do anything with it. Therefore, let's go to the simulation room. First we get the tile atmos, and then if that is nothing, if self is nothing, then we have no atmosphere in that tile, and then we just say continue. As in, we continue the for loop. Let's see if that makes sense. Take one step. Okay, that looks meaningful. This guy couldn't exchange anything, because these are all like, there's nothing, it's just equalized. But then, This guy, let's just look at the simulation, what it looks like. Well, it's not bad, but it's also fucking slow. I mean, if we're considering that this is basically real time, we're taking 4 steps per second. This is 1 second in the reality of the world, apart from the stupid sun motion. It wouldn't take that long to equalize. Maybe I also indeed have to consider the diagonal friends, which might make sense. Because, I mean, how would, for example, this tile be blocked from accessing this tile? What if this is a wall and this is a wall? Then it can't. Or will we just say that this is then not airtight? But then it would be at least a little bit airtight, right? See, now we're getting into the details of the crappy stuff. But, I mean, it wouldn't take that long. I mean, if it depends. If this is a football field, but it's not. This is like say 2 by 2 meters, like in the Stationeers, you know? Easy to imagine. That would have arrived down here much faster. So, let me just experiment and see what happens if we take the other tiles also. Just see what happens. We can then later maybe consider diagonal wall placement and such. Left top, right top. Left bottom, right bottom. So, left top is x minus 1, y minus 1. Right top is x plus 1 and y minus 1. Left bottom is x minus 1 and y plus 1. Right bottom, x plus 1 and y plus 1. Let's verify. Left and right top. Left and right top. Yep. Left and right bottom. Left and right bottom. Okay. So now let's add these. Dip, dip, dip. That should theoretically be it. Let's verify if this is not stupid. The cross with its center, and then the 4 diagonal tiles are also treated in the same fashion. Okay. First, let's see what that runs like. Is it faster or not? Well, I think we can already say that it's not fast enough. Also, what the fuck, man? The pressure over all the average is changing. Look, god damn it. Why is this so? It worked nicely before. What did I do wrong? That's a mistake, no. I don't know. Can't see it. Let's start over, see what that would look like. Oh, that's already fucked up. Oh, that is already mistaken. Uh-huh. But that's new, right? I mean, let me just maybe this thing with the self-continue is the problem. Possibly. Run. Okay, that's at least related to the problem. So if the self tile is null, then it just continues. Else it will get all the tiles, accumulate them together, one second, I have to check something in my funny reminder program. Yo, I found a workaround that solves it. Here, this is the old simulate until a few minutes ago. Now I'm doing the following. I'm just taking the current field, the one right of it, the one bottom of it, and the one right bottom of it, which means that never will this lead to the access of a field that's inaccessible, except in the case of diagonal wall placement. But this could hypothetically be considered here, since it's not too complex to implement, but I will just leave that out for now. And it turns out that this self-skip thing, if the current thing is a wall, it doesn't work. I don't know why, but by going only dealing with the current field and these basically with this bundle here, I solved the problem that this field would then suddenly be averaged out with that field and we would leap over a wall. So this is a workaround. I don't understand what the problem is, but the problem does no longer occur. Oh, and how about this solution for this being so slow? We make it faster. I don't know if it's a good idea, but we can just say the game step shall be even faster than this. Deleted, where is it? Main. Here's the thread. Let's just say we take 10 steps per second. The sun should be dancing here, right? It's still too slow, I would say. But is it really? I mean, this will reach like 12, that's what we have to think. This will reach 12.5 kilopascals, the average that we have here of all the fields. And that is constant. That's fine that this is constant. And I mean, the closer this gets to the proper result, to the proper outcome, the closer this gets to that, the slower it will move there, obviously. And so that it takes, I mean, we don't have to look at the difference between like 0 or 1 or 3 kilopascals written here and the 100 kilopascals up here. Like, what's happening? Instead, we have to look at the difference between this thing and the pressure that it will have. Maybe let's look at a different field. Oh, here we have a higher pressure. Interesting. I mean, this kind of works. We kind of have that now. This simulation. And that was my chair again. Well, let's place another wall down here, horizontally, to see if that does something. From here to there. Room. Where's the map being made, huh? Here, create map. So, we have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if y is 8 and x is greater than 1, 0, 1, but okay, that should be it, I think. Oh, I meant greater. Greater Thunberg. Oh, that was wrong. That was also wrong because it's the same thing. Implicitly, that's wrong again. That looks righty. One step. Nice. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we have the foundation of an atmospheric simulation for a room. And the sun is fucking drunk. Let's change the sun. It's too fast. Orbit location, just make that 100th of this speed. That should be about 20 minutes per day, I guess. Hey, we can calculate this. Orbit location. Once it reaches 1, we have orbited 1 time. So we have 10 steps per second. So this is the amount of seconds basically That would be 1,000 seconds. That would be, well, are we at 15-ish minutes maybe? Maybe, who knows? It would be cool if you could also spread out heat like that, huh? I mean, the gas can have a temperature, we can... But currently it's just pressure. There's no consideration, nothing. It's just making it more interesting. But I think the video has been long enough. Also, I don't want to fuck it up by pressing a key that I shouldn't press. I would be hard-pressed to do so. And, yeah. Goodbye for next time. Maybe things have gotten interesting enough that someone stays on the TV. And I'm talking about myself. Will I continue with this thing? Maybe. It looks promising. Goodbye.